As I was waking up today and looking out to see the wonderful Texan landscape, I had a thought pop into my head. What if the TF2 Mercenaries were YouTubers? So, I spent some time thinking about that, among other things, like how autism isn't a skill I can put into my resume. Today, I've got the answers to this burning question, and I'm ready to serve them up to you. So, get comfortable and all that, because I don't want you leaving this video. If you end up liking things or have some ideas of your own, like the video and leave a comment. Trust me, I'll read it. With no more stalling, let's begin. The Scout, I think, would be the most likely out of any of the mercenaries to actually become a YouTuber, considering his annoying personality and lack of woman. I think that Scout would have a gaming channel, because he's just that kind of guy, you know? Games that Scout's channel would likely revolve around would be something like Minecraft or a horrible game like Rainbow Six Siege. I don't know, it's kind of hard to pin down whether Scout will be one to sell his soul to the eternal Minecraft content cycle, or be the most horrific human being on the planet on Rainbow Six Siege. If you think you know what games Scout would play, leave it in the comments. I think that his videos would be excessive. Something like, I played Minecraft Hardcore Mode with 100 of your mothers, or Most Toxic Team in R6 Ever, Real Funny Copper Trolling Best Moments compilation. Moving on to Pyro, who I think would be the least likely to become a YouTuber. I mean, you can't really understand him speaking, so he would never take off to a wider audience, and also he's utterly deranged. I think something he would do is a makeup channel, except the makeup isn't actually makeup, and he's just burning people's faces with gasoline and a lighter. You know, something that would look pretty friendly with Pyro Vision, but would get him kicked off the platform at some point. Could you imagine just trying to watch some good family-friendly fun makeup beauty content and instead watching a man in a gas mask rip apart somebody's face? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's something that came out of my head. I guess you could say I'm fucked up! Next up, we have the freedom-loving, God-blessed man that is Soldier. While at first I thought that Soldier would make conspiracy content, I quickly realized that such a patriotic man would never think that America faked the moon landing. Instead, I think that Soldier would make gun content. You know, he'd show off all of the latest gun news, fire some bullets in the range, talk about some experimental model he got his hands on, and so on. Well, something I did just realize is the weird overlap between car enthusiasts and gun enthusiasts, where essentially in both of them, it's just a bunch of nerds who can instantly identify a Ford F-150 or a 1889 Glock 19 AR when they see one. Well, anyways, I also think that some funny twist to Soldier's channel, at least considering how deranged he is, would be that the firing range is actually a crowd of people he fires into. I mean, that would make the video show off the true capabilities of the weapons a bit better, but he'd eventually get booted into Live Leak. Up next, we have Heavy, who I think would make for the best cooking channel on the planet. Have you seen that one con? Heavy could certainly cook up a good meal, and especially a good sandwich. I would love to see Heavy sit down with Sasha entering the frame with him before flawlessly assembling a beef Wellington before my very own eyes. I think that of any of the YouTube channels I need on this list, it would be Heavy, and he'd certainly have the least violent channel of any of the mercs. Does anybody else feel hungry imagining what Heavy would cook up, or is it just me not being fed for over 2 weeks? Rolling in, we have Demo Man, who I think would be a reaction YouTuber, something along the lines of Black Scottish Cyclops Reacts, and in every one of his videos he'd be eternally drunk as usual. He'd be the only case of a good reaction YouTuber in history, as I'm sure his mastermind would come up with the greatest original commentary ever. Unfortunately, I could see the channel coming to an end when he tragically accidentally blows himself up after getting too mad at a video. I could also see Demo Man doing a spin-off channel where he just reviews and drinks a substantial amount of alcohol, or if that doesn't work, he'd do some sort of demolition-based channel. I guess he could do an alcoholic podcast too, if you're into that. Moving on to Engineer, he'd definitely be one of those insane engineering channels. Well, he could be a tech YouTuber like Linus Tech Tips instead. Since TF2 takes place in the 1960s, I think he'd prefer to be more traditional with his engineering. I'm just sure he'd make videos like, I made a giant sentry gun and blew up an orphanage, or a spy finds a surprise at my nest. You won't believe what happens. Engineer is also Texan, so he'd go around collecting plywood for his insane projects, and a stupidly oversized lifted Ford F-150 and run over 15 children without noticing. Just imagine seeing Engineer collab with a guy like Mark Rover, and seeing whatever they can come up with. I mean, sure, Mark would be dead by the end of the video, but that's not what it's all about. It's about the friends who made along the way. Next, we have Medic, who'd be the insane medical advice channel. He'd probably promote such amazing theories like, giving all your organs to me makes you 20 years younger. I think that Medic would slowly amount multiple criminal charges over the course of his YouTube journey, but he'd never get arrested or have his channel deleted for some mysterious reason. I also think he'd make some insane collaborations with Heavy and Engineer, such as Heavy makes a sandwich for Lubercharged, or me and Engineer invent a new species. It also features German influence in his videos, with a great accent and the occasional phrase in German. Germany has been a pretty cool place, at least for the most recent 3 decades, so I'm all for it. Next to last, you have Sniper, who uses professionalism and the fact that he lives in Australia to become YouTube's best hunting channel. He'd venture out to the outback and shoot everything he sees: emus, lizards, birds, humans, Sniper doesn't care. He's got a plan to kill everyone he meets. I think that Sniper's videos would also feature an increasingly worrying amount of dry bottles amounting over the course of the video with no context. If you really think about it, this is the perfect retirement opportunity for Sniper. Once he's done being a mercenary, he can just become a sports hunter and he would be about the same. That does make you think, would Sniper's parents be any more proud of him if he became a YouTuber? After all, the law book for all YouTubers does state, thou mustn't have proud fathers. So I guess that does explain a lot about me. Last, we've got Spy, who took me a minute to figure out. On one hand, I haven't picked a mercenary to become the deranged guy who spends half a year making video essays, but I don't think that Spy fits that. Instead, it's easier to say that Spy would make the world's most dapper fashion channel. Think about it, this French gentleman reviewing the latest that the world of fashion has to offer. Spy would definitely roast all of the stupid crap going on in the world of fashion, and if anything, I'm all for it. Spy would be like the angry video game nerd, but inverted into the gentle fashion enthusiast. Really, wouldn't you like to see Spy dripped out in a Supreme hoodie? And for a bonus character, Saxon, who would make for the greatest fitness YouTuber who has ever lived. Every single one of his videos would feature him busting through a wall and immediately breaking somebody's spine in half. After that, he'd wrestle with a Yeti, and then finally get down to giving you the best fitness advice ever, and advising you to get more Australian in your diet. I think that Saxon is the hero that this world needs in order to bring back my faith into the world of fitness. I think that Saxon would be able to encourage all TF2 players to lose 200 pounds of fat and put on a 6th set of muscles. Wait, does being powered by Australian count as using steroids? Anyway, second bonus character is Monoculus, who would be a finance YouTuber. You know, the people that advertise Amazon dropshipping as a solution to poverty? Well, Monoculus would do the world a service and bring us the truest, most perfect financial advice ever. With this, Monoculus would inflate the wealth. With this, Monoculus sort of revolution that inflates the wealth of the middle class, resulting in unforeseen consequences. And the government would inevitably give Monoculus diabetes so he can't see anymore. I wonder, can we make a contact lens that's big enough for Monoculus?